Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Love, here to your AEW Dynamite review for March 15th, 2023. Although it is St. Patty's Day today, so I'm wearing green. But nonetheless, here for your review. Although, unfortunately, I don't have a green AEW shirt, but hopefully that changes in the future. We'll see. For any future times I do wrestling reviews on St. Patty's Day, but alas, here wearing green for anyone who's watching this video. So alas, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the podcast, of course, click the subscription box down at the bottom of the video. Why not notifications for the podcasts and whatnot. Also, click the notification bell as well. Help out the video and, of course, help out the channel. But, alas, thank you. And Dynamite was a very fun episode on Wednesday. Of course, MJF's rebar mitzvah was interrupted by the rest of the pillars of AEW, which at first I was confused, but once you realize, okay, MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara. Okay, we got the four pillars of AEW all in a corner, and this just made for a fun segment. All four guys, giving their sides. With Double or Nothing coming up, and which would be the fourth year of AEW. Not the full. Yeah, this would be the fifth Double or Nothing because, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, it would be the fifth edition, but nonetheless, fourth year of AEW, and it would be the four pillars, presumably in a four-way main event. It would be a heck of a change for JF's World Title run. Because, look, Darby and Sammy, what can we say? They've been multiple time TNT champions, and they've run down that course, numerous times. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, is the only guy of the three that has not been a TNT champion, but nonetheless, this kind of makes sense in the sense that, all four guys can get over in the same match, same feud, and then go off in the next because, of course, we know MJF is not losing till at least next year. So, plus you can revisit these kind of feuds down the line, I guess. That's the other thing they're looking at. So, in that sense, I get it. But yeah, should be a fun match, presumably in Vegas. And then we got two interesting signings now for AEW. Well, one signing is a welcoming back because on Wednesday in Canada, Sue Grayson made his return to AEW, and alas, is born in Canada and now in the States, part of the Dark Order. He made his return in a huge 6-man tag, and boy did he look impressive, and boy did his chemistry with Evil Uno did not lose one bit. You know, he looked refreshed, he looked regenerated. Of course, he was with Impact for a little bit. Now, he is all elite again. Great thing. You know, sliding back into the Dark Order. I mean, he and Evil Uno, they could go after tag team titles. Certainly add to that tag division. Or they could be a part of the trios division. There's certainly opportunities now with the Dark Order again. Who have been up and down, but in the tag division like this, and when you need viable challengers for the Gun Club or the Guns, whether it's FTR, the Acclaimed, etc., you need challengers to make credible champions in the Guns. So we'll see how it goes. But great thing for Stu. Great for Dark Order in general. And then Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie, who is the wife of John Hannigan, aka John Morrison, who has had a couple matches in AEW as Johnny Elite. And it appears now Taya is all elite. She came out after Jade Cargill's match and confronted her. And, you know, Taya, she's a very viable wrestler. You know, she was with Impact for a brief while. Became champion over there. She was in NXT. She got cut over there. Now she's with AEW. I mean, she can add to the division. She can definitely add to the division as far as a big time name. She isn't there, but she can add to the division, that's for sure. And then, of course, we had a very fun main event with the House of Black, JS, and the Elites. It was fun. It was very fun. But now, I will say that it wasn't as bad as you kind of were thinking, in the sense of, okay, 9 guys, you know, in a match is going to just be chaotic, but it is more concise and it was a great match nonetheless for the main event. And what happened after seems a prelude in the sense of getting the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, excuse me. It's definitely a fun feud to look forward to in the year to come. Or as far as the rest of the year and possibly Double or Nothing. You know, where does Bryan Danielson fit in this? Where does Hangman fit in this? It's certainly a thought. But yeah, we'll certainly see. But now with that news out of the way, now let's get into the review. Let's get into the review for a fun episode of Dynamite. So, Dynamite started off with MJF's Rebar Mitzvah. So, MJF came out with two girls on both sides of him, and three pecked him on the cheek. The other he made out with, you know, for a guy whose fiance left him, it seems like he's rebounding good. He's rebounding good for Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman. So, he was out there and saying how, well, he shit on Canada fans who loved Bret Hart, thinking he was entertaining, saying he was a Shawn Michaels guy. Because, of course, that's really the way to get heat in Canada. So, they did the theatrics, you know, for Rebar Mitzvah. Many guys, they were circling around the chair. He was being hoisted up in chair and whatnot. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry's music hit. And he pretty much ended this Rebar Mitzvah. And he got out to the ring, was about to say something. Sammy Guevara's music hits. He strolls down to the ring. And then Darby Allin's music hits. And then, like I said, all four are paired up, each in a corner, the four pillars of AEW. And it was a heck of a scene. So, sorry. I need a drink. 1 sec. So, MJ at point blank was like, why are you guys all out here? Because none of you guys were invited. And then Darby, Sammy, and Jungle Boy all say in unison, we want a title match. So MJF was like, that's really cute, guys. And then Jack takes the microphone first, saying, shut up, Max. Saying how they first wrestled at Double or Nothing 2020, the first AEW pandemic pay-per-view with no fans. And they had a hell of a match. Agreed. Back and forth for almost 20 minutes. And, of course, MJF cheated. And MJF won. MJF brushed it off like, okay. And then, saying since then, MJF's been awarded everything in the book, while Jungle Boy stayed on Dark in Jacksonville. Now MJF hasn't been on Rampage, Dark, or Elevation. Saying how he gets to stay out there and do whatever he wants. And, you know, look, MJF, yeah, I think he's the only guy to not be on Dark or Rampage. That's interesting. Because, you know, Omega's been on Dark. You know, the Elite's been on Rampage. CM Punk's been, I mean, for a while, he was just on Rampage, was CM Punk wrestling. But, I mean, yeah, pretty much everyone except MJF's been on everywhere else. So, that was a unique sentiment. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but, you know, maybe they can play that into a storyline. You know, we'll see. But MJF has, or Jungle Boy stated how there's people in the back that work their ass off that maybe get 60 seconds a week on Dynamite. While MJF takes 20 minutes doing the same hokey BS he's done for the last 4 years. Saying how this company revolves around him, and the biggest way to end that is taking that title from MJF. So MJF fired back saying, well, yeah, it does around him because he is a star. Stan McGuire quickly chimed in saying, shut the hell up, Max, before he turns this re-bar mitzvah into a re-circumcision. So, Stan McGuire said that MJF talks too much. He talked his way into AEW, saying he kissed ass, that Guevara had grind for 10 years on the Indies, working at Whataburger, Subway, job you could think of. and saying once he got here, it was just him, saying he was supposed to be the Inner Circle's job guy, saying he was supposed to be the bump guy for Jericho, but he overcame everything, became a 3-time TNT champion, saying he's done it by himself, saying that he's got himself that here in AEW, I'll get him to the AEW World Championship, saying whether MJF likes it or not, whether the dumbass Canadian fans like it or not, because he was sounding very babyface in that promo, saying that Sammy Guevara is going to be a world champion because he's the best ever, and MJF knows it. MJF said, "That's really cute, stealing my catchphrase for a bit." Darby then got his piece in, saying, "Enough, Max, it's my turn." Darby brought up a story of when he was in school that when he turned in an idea for a film, his teacher said he had to basically change it because that film doesn't work for the school. And Darby said he would basically rather drop out than change anything about it. And then he realized that he rather... It gave him the confidence to start being a pro wrestler. And he bound himself in wrestling school, saying that he would either live or die as Darby Allin, that he wouldn't change anything about him, telling that there wouldn't be a bidding war for Darby Allin, but AEW is given a chance for him to be him. Darby's over. Anyone would love to have Darby on their roster because he just fits that reckless abandon babyface at will. And he's telling that his biggest problem with AEW, that there's grown ass men in the back that complain, I'm not happy, I'm upset, I want out of my contract if I don't get what I want. And that includes MJF, our world champion. And that AEW has meant a hell of a lot more to him than it did to MJF. That is why he should be world champion. And in a very mockery manner, he said, "Well, you know what I'm gonna do if you don't give me a championship match, right?" Just said he's gonna complain about it on Twitter. Said, "Nah, seriously, I'm gonna beat you over the head with my skateboard and give you a headlock takeover." Point blank, back at their match at Full Gear last year, or 2021, crazy, when they had that great match. But yeah, so said, well, okay, we got Jungle Jabroni, we got Darby, the incel skateboarding mime, and then we got Sammy. In about 7 months, I'm gonna propose to a new girl, Guevara. Oh boy, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Sammy smiled and laughed, saying, "That's funny, Max, because didn't your fiance leave you?" And MJF said, well, okay, Jungle Boy had Christian. Sammy has Jericho. Darby has Sting. MJF said, well, he had nobody. He didn't have to be enrolled in daddy daycare at AEW. Which, I mean, he only had muscle, but he didn't have, I guess the tutelage or a manager guiding him, I guess, in AEW. My guess. But so then told everyone to leave because none of them were invited. So then Jungle Boy then hit Max from behind with the microphone. MJF went out to the apron. They started brawling, and then all of a sudden MJF gets. So Sammy Guevara, when he made his entrance, he touched MJF's cake that was on the table. And what do you know? MJF flies off the apron into his cake. Into on the ground. Cake in his face, cake in his hat, all over Triple B, the world title. I mean, all over his suit. And MJF is humiliated at his rebar mitzvah from the 3 other pillars. I mean, a 4-way match, the way to go in AEW's 4th tier. I'm up for it. Should be a hell of a main event for Double or Nothing, if you ask me. Next, we got the first match on the card. So we got the Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Woody Utah, Claudio Castagnoli versus Hangman Page, Ivuno, and who I mentioned earlier, Stu Grayson. Stu Grayson got a big reaction in Canada, some country, and fun match. Stu got a lot of offense in. He ran roughshod. At one point, he jumped over the top of the turnbuckle, leaped over and hit a dive on Claudio on the outside. After a while, Hangman got the hot tag, his offense. He and Moxley had a bit of a fight in the middle of the ring. And you can tell that the Blackpool Combat Club is getting more and more heel by the week. As Willer Yuta, while the referee was distracted, hit the ring bell over Hangman's head, basically taking him out for the rest of the match. Sued Tope to the outside. 450 on, I think it was Moxley for a near fall. Then they hit the fatality for 2. Then, towards the end of the match, Claudio had a big uppercut on Sue. Counter. Moxley locked in a choke. Sue tapped out and proceeded with the hold. And again, they just, not caring more and more. And they are healing up for the Black Pro Combat Club, which I'm good with. I'm good with. So then we got Jade afterwards, Alex Reynolds, John Silvers, they came out for a save after, so point blank. Next up, we got Jade Cargill versus Nicole Matthews, as Jade Cargill welcomed the Open Challenge in Canada. Very simple. Jade 1, 2, 3. I mean, again, we're all very wishing for title reign to be over. I think that's point blank. Anyway, so afterwards, Jade took the mic from Renee. Taya Valkyrie came out there and got in Cargill's face. And Jay was about to leave, and then Layla Gray tried to attack Taya from behind. And then Taya actually hit the Jade on Layla, sending a message to Jade Cargill. So that's the thing, look. Little message from Taya to Jade. The only issue is, though, they're having Taya Valkyrie's debut match on Rampage late Friday night, or late tonight, which after NCAA basketball, I mean, that's a tough ask in your debut match on a tape show, what's going to be really late on Friday night. So there you have that. So we got Ricky Starks backstage promo. He said, well, it's really easy in response to Juice Robinson, oh, shoot, my charger. But he said, in response to Juice Robinson's promo from earlier, well, it's really easy to attack a guy from behind. And said, yeah, Bullet Club was great in 2015, but it's 2023. Saying how he asked what has Juice Robinson done in AEW. Basically nothing. But he said he welcomes challenge from Juice Robinson, and he welcomes Bullet Club as well. So, you know, Jay White coming over from Japan to AEW. I mean, we know Ace Austin and Chris Bay are the tag team champions of Impact, but I'm not sure how that relationship still is, so maybe they could make an appearance as well on AEW. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see. We got QTV. So, it was basically a TMZ like parody, pretty much you could say, for QT Marshall, The Factory, backstage and making fun of Wardlow. So, look, so we know, well, this happened one of two ways. So, Wardlow was robbed on Tuesday of his stuff and his TNT title from his rental car. And they played a scene where Aaron Solo broke into a car, took the TNT title and belongings. So, one of two things. Either it was all a setup and all a just something that was made totally a work by AEW, or Wardlow was legitimately robbed and the factory decided to recreate the scene, try to turn to a storyline. Either way, good on AEW's part. Good on AEW's part to turn something bad into something good. I mean, the Falls Count Anywhere match was already good, plus from probably the match they were supposed to have last week. But, so that's the thing. Or last week. And to turn the, the robbing into either work or shoot, or nonetheless, I mean, either way, it's a great idea. So, on them. So, yes, what's next for Wardlow? And Aaron Solo was like, who? Said, oh, you mean Batista, but not as good. Funny, Mr. Aaron Solo. So, and then QT Marshall was like, he's not going anywhere because he took his passport as well. So, then Hobbs had the team title, looked into the camera and said, welcome to Will's world, bitch. So, Friday on Rampage, we're getting Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ray Phoenix. Open challenge for TNT Championship. Hobbs' first defense of the TNT Championship. Definitely going to keep my eye on that matchup, I would say. Hobbs, the TNT title has not had a legitimate reign in a long time, in a while. So hopefully Hobbs, because we know he can do it. We know, just looking at him, he has the credibility to bring the title back to Prestige. So, we'll see how this QT Marshall factory influence can help out with Hobbs during his title run. So, we'll see. So then we got Double J, Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW International Championship. This match was alright. Just, the thing is, Jeff Jarrett in a title match in 2023 is, not needed on this roster. And, with everything, with Jay Lethal, with Sanam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, the best friends, it was just took away from the match, which was a decent match all in all. So Bryce was taken out, the referee, Bryce Rensberg, he was taken out. Aubrey strolled down as Jeff Jarrett was about to use the guitar. Wasn't to be. Sanam, he was ejected. Jay Lethal, he used the Golden Glove to wipe out OC, but only for near fall. Jeff Jarrett went for the stroke, but his finisher, but OC countered, hit the orange punch. 1, 2, 3. And OC retains. Now, where's the international title go from here? We'll see. But it's definitely got to change. It's definitely got to change. To improve the prestige of the title, because you can't just change the name of the title and expect anything to change. We have to actually do something to change how people view the title, whether it's defending on different promotions, etc. So we'll see. The Outcasts. That's what they're calling them. Saraya, Ruby Soho, Tony Storm. So, the name, very hit and miss. And they got a new theme, which is green, symbolizing with their, spray paint. Ruby Soho did a good explanation last week. Tony Storm, she gave somewhat of an explanation on Wednesday. So, closer. So know really about Soraya, and this storyline is not great. It's just not going well. You know, Soraya mentioned how, well, they're here to show why it's their house now. Tony said the best piece. Said, listen, you fat people, saying, well, when she won the interim title, the interim women's title, just the interim, that she was supposed to wear with a smile on her face, and that when Jamie Hayter beat her, that people were so glad for her to lose and for Jamie Hayter to win. So, had some more shtick, and then Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter ran out there. Brawl continued. Riho, Sky Blue, Will Nightingale. They all, I don't know. Look. Will is a good wrestler. Riho's solid. Sky Blue, she's still has a lot of work to do. These three added into this storyline. Carl Shida is still in Japan. This whole storyline is just not going well. And sucks because Jamie Hayter's been getting more and more momentum. He should have a challenger waiting in the wings. But because she's involved in the storyline, it's taken away from her title run, and it should not be the case. But it sucks. They're trying to make something with this storyline, and it's not going well. It's not. Anyways. My charger again. So we got 2.0 back. We need more Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Two guys very entertaining who are basically feuding with the Acclaimed. So, they said they'll show why the JS is so good on Friday when they go in tag team action versus the Bollywood Boys, apparently, on Friday. It's a start. But they need to be on TV more often. They are too entertained to not be on doing anything. They're just too hilarious and too entertained to not be doing anything. So, yeah. We'll see how this goes. So we got the main event. What was a fun and just a hell of a main event in Canada. House of Black versus the Elite versus JS. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Daniel Garcia. This was, fun. Really just some bunch of spots. You know, we did see Jericho and Omega. That was kind of the big pop of the crowd because Canada and, Jericho and Omega. Don Callis on commentary really, I think, pushed this match over. Just for fun. So, winning the match. So, Omega rises to turn their dive on the outside on everyone. Sammy a Spanish fly. Jericho and Omega actually teamed up for a double superplex on Big Brody King. Which, induced a thud. So, this is one spot which a little hokey. So, while the referee is distracted, Jericho hit Brody with Floyd the Bat. And it looked like that Buddy Matthews was a little late. That just to mind what I was looking at, what spot was. So Brody was hit with the bat, and then Buddy was too far away. And, you could tell. Aubrey kind of stopped at the 2 count, and Brody kicked out. I mean, but well, suspect anyway. So hit for a near fall. Sammy Guevara actually had a big shooting star press for a near fall as well. But in the end, as Garcia was isolated by the House of Black, he got a black mass on his kick. And then Dante's Inferno. 1, 2, 3. And the House of Black retained. I mean, as long as the House of Black retained, then this was a good match. Then that was relief for me because, in the main event, great. Hopefully, it's a sort of new for the House Black because they need some direction, and hopefully this continues in the right path. So they cut to the back at the end of the match. Blackpool Combat Club and the Dark Order were brawling in the back. And after the match, all of them went down by ringside, and Hangman was in the ring. Blackpool Combat Club was on one side. The Elites, they were outside the ring. And then when it looked like the Blackpool Combat Club was about to be on Page, Omega and the Bucks, they came in the ring to back up Page for a very good reaction and teasing that the four probably back together, and probably maybe this is the blood and guts match for 2023. The Elite versus Blackpool Comic Club. Because we know Bryan Danielson, well, Bryan's going to be taking a break, it seems, after his Iron Man match with MJF. And that's good. You know, as long as he's healthy for... Because, I mean, last year, he wasn't there for Blood Guts. He wasn't there for Forbidden Door, which was very sad. But, yeah, hopefully he just stays healthy, takes all time he needs, and then comes back for Blood and Guts and for Forbidden Door, and in a couple months, and then off and run. So good, but certainly tease. Plus, because we know Don Callis has been trying to recruit Konosuke Takeshita the last couple weeks. So, could he fit into this? I'm not sure. But we'll see. There's some moving parts. Omega's contract, we'll see. But nonetheless, that's how Dynamite went off the air. And thank you for joining me. Again, if you're new to podcasts, watch some more videos, click the subscription down in the corner. Also, leave a like on the like button. Leave a thumbs up, help out the video, help out the channel. But, thank you guys. See you guys next week for another AEW Dynamite. But thank you. Be safe. Adios. Happy St. Patty's Day. Peace.